Hello everybody, my name is Mango Thunderslice, and today I'm going to be talking about the American Revolution, past and present and future. Alright, so it's just kind of a short video today ruminating on what sovereignty means and what it's taken for us to get here as a species, and all the people that have contributed to this. It's easy for one group of people to try and claim credit for something, as they say, victory has 1,000 fathers and defeat is an orphan, right? Everybody wants to claim victory, but nobody wants to own up to the fact that, problems have been created in the process and, they need to be resolved. And so there are these guys, right? A bunch of Freemasons in a room saying, what are we going to do, right? What are we going to do? We're going to break off from England? What are we going to do? All right, and we're all very familiar with this. And, part of my message today is, about secession, right? That secession, we glorify one act of secession that happened in 1776, this one singular act of secession, but it seems like every other act of secession or secession movement is not okay, and it needs to be slapped on the wrist. But my point today is very much in line with Ron Paul and, the message of liberty, that basically we should embrace the right to secede throughout the world, okay? Basically the American Revolution basically was about paltry things when we compare it to the things that we are experiencing today. Ron Paul just put out a Independence Day missive basically saying that the tax rates that the British Crown were putting on the Americans was like 1 to 2% of national income, like no higher than like 3%. Okay, I would love to only be taxed at 3%. I would consider that to be freedom compared to what we have today. But, Ron Paul's just making a lot of great points that don't just wear a bunch of flags, okay, and go barbecue some freaking burgers and not actually give a moment's thought to actually what this whole holiday is about. It's about sovereignty. It's about independence, right? And, now it's just the 4th of July, right? But in reality, it's Independence Day. And I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I'm not going to be correcting people. But, it's interesting how the parlance is just Happy 4th, Happy 4th, right? It's not Thanksgiving either. It's Happy Turkey Day. We don't give thanks. We just eat turkey. We don't celebrate independence. We just eat burgers and pretend like we're not slaves for a little while. But the thing is, a slave is only a slave because he lets himself be a slave. A free man is a free man because he will not let himself be a slave. And that's just the fact of things, and it's always been that way. Frederick Douglass, right, became a free man when he learned to read, okay? Remember that. And Ron Paul's talking about what is independence. Think about the TSA. Think about the military-industrial complex. Think about the Federal Reserve manipulating the value of money. I think it's time for us to declare our independence from an oppressive government that seeks to control our money and our lives in unimaginable ways to those who rebelled against the British Crown in 1776. Our revolution is peaceful. It concentrates on winning hearts and minds one at a time, but it marches on. We must reclaim the spirit of independence every day and every night and intensify the struggle against those who seek to impose tyranny upon us. And that is what I'm helping to do on this YouTube channel as best I can. And I'm just going to be pointing out some of the secession movements taking place in the United States and all over the world right now. So Rough and Ready, this isn't one that's happening now. I just moved up here kind of to the Sacramento area in California. And this is a town that seceded from the United States in 1850 during, I guess, let me see. The town declared secession from the Union as the Great Republic of Rough and Ready in 1850, largely to avoid mining taxes, but voted to rejoin the Union the following year. So, and there's a story here that a guy who lived here, he was the real one who invented the first airplane, and it's just kind of a cool story, right? Here's a list of active separatist movements in North America. I just skipped over Jefferson, the state of Jefferson. If you drive through northern California, around the Sierra Nevadas, you might see some signs advocating the state of Jefferson, right? A proposed U.S. state that would span the contiguous, mostly rural area of southern Oregon and northern California, right? And again, we should be celebrating this. I think this is great. And people immediately leap to, well, it's not going to happen. When we talk about, California, Cal exit and exit, right? Texas leaving the Union. And people immediately leap to, well, it's not really going to happen. Stop thinking in terms of black and white, like you're this observer who's not participating in the game of life. This is your stage as much as it is the Illuminati's, the elites, all right? So take your role and start saying what you want to happen, not what you think will happen. Stop being an observer, okay? List of it. So again, yeah, this is. I'm just trying to wake people up, because this is, we should be celebrating all of these. This is here's the Confederate States trying to rise again, and again, we should enforce, a sense of universal ethics wherever we find it, and that's the basis of culture and the true religion. But it's nobody's burden to make one-size-fits-all set of rules that's going to work for everybody, because first of all, we are different people of this planet. We have different aspects and archetypes that we're following. You will not guarantee a quality of outcome at any time in the history of the freaking human species. 100,000 years into the future, you won't achieve your perfect communist utopia, because people are different, and that's a beautiful, wonderful thing that we should be celebrating. Not trying to make everybody the same, but acknowledging our differences and celebrating them, and just uniting under a common banner of do no harm, right? That's what we can all agree on. Freedom and do no harm. Freedom to leave each other alone, right? We don't all have to be together in this one kumbaya. We can do our own thing, and we can just trade with one another and be a global civilization of trade, not this new world order of a global government, right? Europe, same thing. Albania, Belgium, Azerbaijan, Bosnia, all over the world, people are yearning for freedom. And this, I'm not going to go across the entire Wikipedia pages of all the different separatist movements, but look at this. People all over the world want to be free. They want to have self-determination. They want to have sovereignty. And the empire treats this as a scourge, as a cancer, as this malignancy of people who think that they're so good and so resilient that they don't need the central state. Well, those people are right. All right, and they should be supported and encouraged wherever possible. And that's my point today. All right, Catalonia in Spain, right? This one's gotten a lot of momentum, right? They are actively challenging the Spanish government, the bankrupt Spanish government, and they want to do their own thing. And this is the thing, when people are actually resilient and they're able to build a civilization for their own, not just in terms of resources, of course that's a main thing, but mental sovereignty, okay? Not being slaves mentally, but having the mentality that you are the creator of your life and your reality, and your free will guarantees you the outcome that whatever outcome you get is the one you chose if you're a free man. And, what they have in this country is a cult, right? So like a media cult that encourages people to voluntarily give up their freedom and their sovereignty and to defer it to the central state, to basically willingly become slaves, right? And you have all these weird songs and these weird movies, and they're all just encouraging these weird themes that basically all seem to revolve around the weakness of the human species, a cult of weakness, that man is this feckless, just bumbling animal that has no heroic aspects. But the truth is quite the opposite. Man is a heroic creature. Woman is a heroic creature, for that matter. And it's together when we unite in the divine masculine and divine feminine, we will have the true resilience. Again, what is the beginning of the world? Adam and Eve. It's just a man and a woman starting an entirely new world. At the end of The Tempest by William Shakespeare, right? How does it end? And that one of his plays is all about the new world. It's all about the founding of America. And what happens at the end of The Tempest is a man and a woman go forth into the new world to create the new world, okay? And that is the essence of what these people are doing in all of these secession movements, and they, again, should be supported. Gangs in New York, again, a great movie, and it shows kind of the two sides, right? You have the natives represented by Bill the Butcher, right? And then you have basically the immigrants, right? Priest Vallon, and it's this whole battle between the natives who are Protestant and the immigrants who are Catholic, and the natives are fighting to retain their homeland that they fought for and their fathers died for, and the immigrants, they're just trying to survive, and they're dealing with all the consequences of, the living inside the imperial structure. Of course, the Ireland didn't want to leave Ireland, okay? This wasn't a famine because they didn't grow the right kind of potatoes, no matter what they tell you in American public school, right? It was an active genocide of the Irish people by the Second Crown of London. And so these people were forced out of their homeland. to, so again, you see this thesis, antithesis, synthesis that the empire, the Triple Crown, loves to cultivate is creating fighting opposites. And I feel like this movie just really captured that essence very well, because though one side's Catholic and the one side's Protestant, the son of priest Valen basically comes up to be an apprentice of Bill the Butcher, and he kind of becomes the fusion, the American fusion between the two. And I think that's just a very powerful movie, great movie. Voluntary society, right? This is the essence of it, that we should all have the right to self-determination. We can all agree on a universal ethical principle of the non-aggression principle, that no one has the right to initiate aggressive force against another, and we all have the right to defend ourselves against the initiation of force coming at us, right? Don't tread on me, huh? Don't tread on a snake. And another way of saying that in a more peaceful way, this is kind of the divine masculine way of saying it, but to balance it out, the other is, this is what our channel logo is originally from. May all beings be happy, okay? It's a sigil basically from Buddhism of the Triskelion, the Trinity, basically the triune force that binds the universe together, because it's not just all white and black, it's not red and blue fighting each other, it's a harmony of colors, a harmony of forces, a balance of power. And the greatest way to promote and encourage a balance of power among the people of Earth is to encourage them to flower, to develop their own individual unique identity, and to let them all have a conversation among themselves, and to find out what the best practices and procedures are among them that they can use to achieve good governance. Okay, it's not about the Republican and the Democrat, we're fighting the globalists and blah blah blah. Individuals are what matter. I don't care about your political party. I don't care about your color. I don't care about your religion. I care about whether or not you're an ethical person, whether or not you're prepared to do what's necessary to build a paradise on planet Earth. And that's pretty much, that's it. If you can pass the test of being a good person who wants to do right by the world, then you know what, we're brothers and sisters in arms, and let's go forward to take back our freedom, because in fact we never surrendered it in the first place. And that's my message today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a happy Independence Day. And we'll see each other next time. Cheers.